Hello, Rush, parents and players. Hope you're doing well and enjoying a little bit of time off in the summertime. Um, we wanted to make this video because summertime provides you with a little bit of extra time on finding your college fit. Hopefully you have a job over the summer, maybe doing a little bit of training on your own, but without school, that gives you some extra time where you can then be seeing college campuses and getting in front of college coaches. And so there are a variety of things that you can be doing to kind of finding your fit. And we're going to kind of go over those today. Matt, when you say think big picture, what do you mean by that?
you I, th- there's a real tendency when you're in high school to think about starting college. And instead of just thinking about starting college, think about when you end college. You know, what is it you want for your life out of your college experience? What are the educational experiences you want to have had in college? Um, Other experiences, soccer, opportunities afterwards. What kind of debt are you comfortable having afterwards? Where, what kind of job opportunity are you expecting to have when you graduate? I think a lot of 16-year-olds aren't really thinking about, like, oh, when I graduate college, am I going to be able to get a job? And where do I want to live, when I graduate college? And you should be thinking about those things as you go into looking for college, because when you go into looking, like, it's going to be the same as when you leave, right? Those opportunities are going to be there or not. And you don't want to get to the end of college and suddenly go, oh no, I've got $120,000 in debt and no job. Like, that's that's not where you want to be. Instead, you want to get done with college and go, oh, all the things I wanted to accomplish during college I did, and the opportunities that I wanted to have when I graduated college are there for me. And I've got the support I need to be able to take the next step in my life and be successful.
Yeah. I think about a really good example is the captain of our team this past year. So this kid kind of did everything right throughout his college search. He's a senior now, so he just graduated. But he got numerous internships in the Chicagoland area because of the connections that he had with his professors and because of the opportunities that are kind of available in the Chicagoland area. So he had a really cool internship at Discover Financial there in Riverwoods, so at their corporate headquarters. And it was October, I think, of his senior year. He got a job offer at Capital One Financial in Dallas, working in finance for them. And so rather than stressing out in May when he graduated, he had everything lined up and sorted in October. So kind of set him up for a really good position. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think kind of too with your college search, if you're thinking about, you know, where you want to be at the end of your college search, so your senior year, if you're an underclassman now, there's a lot of things you can do to make your senior year a lot less stressful and enjoyable, so that you can enjoy this whole process, because you really should enjoy it. But just like Tim mentioned, like, when you're graduating college, you're graduating high school, you want those things to be, where you want them to be, so that you don't have to stress and you can enjoy those final moments, and that transition to that next part of your life, you can feel excited about it instead of, like, freaking out.
Like I did when I was 22 years old.
it's, it's very common to do the freaking out way because you didn't plan well enough, and I think that's the more common, which is why we're giving you this advice on how to not do it that way, so that you and your families can actually really enjoy those moments.
Totally. All right, so one of the features that could be really, really helpful, or resources that can be really helpful, is the college search feature on Huddle. So Huddle is, as hopefully you know, our video software that we use. This is where all of your games are going to be housed that get recorded, and where you can make highlight reels. But in addition to your highlight reels, they have a whole recruiting feature where, as you can see, under the recruiting tab, there's a college search tool. And that can help you really narrow down your search based off of some of your interests, and really try to like, yeah, narrow it down for you. So,
Well, some of you are going to have a similar access to something similar through your high school, to be honest, this is a really helpful tool. The one difference that I would say with Huddle is that it also factors into account um, athletics, and so it can help you to figure out, oh, which schools have your major and are the size you want, and in the location you want, and with soccer at maybe the right level for you. And that's going to be kind of the biggest difference from some of the tools that you might get through your high school. And for some of you, you might not have these tools through your high school. So this is going to be as good or better than any of the high school tools that you're using.
awesome. Yeah, so as you can see on the screen, you can kind of use a combination of filters to find schools by location, school size, academics, if they have a soccer program, etc.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing. If you can start narrowing it down, if you know that you're a Division 3 level player, or that's the kind of size that you want, this can
This
help
is
find it. Yeah.
this is the exact search that I did with my oldest son. And when we used it, we were like, oh, there's 8 programs that have architecture within, a lot of miles from where we live that are Division 3 schools. So let's start with these schools because this is your list right now if you want to be an architect. And some of the schools were schools he had never heard of. A couple were schools I had never heard of. But it was like, oh, okay, like, okay, let's look at some of these schools and see if any of them are a good fit for you.
Yeah. And I know like it's cool that they show the tuition here.
Yeah.
And $68,000 a year is an eye-watering amount. However, don't always disqualify a school just based off of that, because at the Division 3 level, that's never what anybody ends up paying. Everybody gets a scholarship package, which significantly reduces the cost of tuition. So,
Yeah,
um,
I think anytime you're looking at private schools, and the majority of Division 3 schools are private, but there's some Division 1 and 2 schools that are private as well. Like the sticker price, kind of like a car, the sticker price isn't always what you pay. The tuition cost, often there will be significant discounts, at those private schools. So I would still check it out and kind of see, where you might come down. There's plenty of estimators on those college sites to help you try and figure out, oh, how much is this actually going to cost me? And some of the schools that are the most expensive give the most scholarship money. Here's some additional information just about the school in general, where it's at, ACT scores, SAT scores. This is a school that has the same in-state and out-of-state tuition, which is the case for most private schools. State schools will often have different out-of-state tuitions, but most private schools, in-state and out-of-state, is going to be the same.
yeah, so Huddle's like, in addition to being able to like see your game film, being able to do these searches, but it's also an area where college coaches can use it as a recruiting tool, and see kind of your profile and a variety of your, not only your club, your rush highlight reels, but also your high school reels, because I would say what almost all high schools use Huddle, at least in Illinois. I think
And
it's a
and
really
one of the
cool
nice
feature. Yeah.
one of the nice things about the high schools is that a lot of them are in stadiums, so the filming angle is really nice. If you have a coach, your club coach is able to have a tripod that goes way up, okay, you can still get good film from that. But maybe if there's some games that didn't get filmed that way, okay, well, you can still get good film from your high school sometimes that way. And updating those highlight videos regularly, if you put them on your profile, coaches can go back and go, oh, how have you improved since your sophomore year when your first clips got uploaded to maybe now is the end of your junior year. Um, and it is good, good opportunity for you to continue sharing as you go.
Yeah, social media can be such a two ends of the spectrum. Really, really positive thing for recruiting, and or it could disqualify you quite quickly if you don't do it right. So I think just think about putting your best foot forward. Think about would my parents and would my grandparents like what my social media presence is? Would they approve of everything I put out there? Because otherwise, you very quickly can disqualify yourself as a recruit in college coaches' eyes, if not.
There are certainly lots of people who can tell you that they have been de-recruited because of things that they have posted. Don't be one of those. Um, as you're going through and you're searching out your list of schools, um, don't wait until you get to the end to start reaching out to coaches. If you're like, oh, I like Elmhurst University, great, reach out. When you realize that this is a school that's going to be on your list. Um, Also, as you start checking out schools, you might decide initially, as I did, I was like, oh, Colorado State sounds really cool. Oh, the University of Iowa, I love the Hawkeyes. And then I found out, oh, they don't actually have a men's soccer team at Iowa. Well, okay, they went off my list because I wanted to play. So your list is going to be fluid. That's okay. Like it's never going to be finished until you're done and you're at college, right? So that's okay. Don't get hung up about that. Reach out to coaches as you go along. Visit schools as you add them to the list whenever you get a chance. If you're going to a tournament and it's near one of the schools on your list, make sure you let your parents know so that you can swing by and maybe do a visit. Maybe you take a half day off school, or if the tournament's going for 3 days, maybe once you get your tournament schedule, you set it up so that you can try and visit one of those schools with some of your off time. So those are all you want to keep kind of keep on it, and realize like it's a process. So you need to carve out a little bit of time regularly. Every Sunday afternoon before you start your homework, maybe you go and do a little bit of work with this.
Yeah, being consistent with your search rather than leaving it to the last minute is going to help reduce your stress and just help you make an informed decision. We're going to put out a separate video for camps, or we might have already sent it out. So make sure to watch that video because I think we give a lot of great practical advice on
Yeah.
how to utilize ID camps to their fullest so that you can really showcase yourself there.
Yep. Last, so we talked about the end game right at the beginning of this. So some things, specific things for your end game. So pre-senior year, before your senior year, you want to have done visits and camps, and going into your senior year, be trimming down your list so that you don't have 30 schools anymore, that you've got a manageable list to be able to go and see and check out places that have your major, that are, if you want to play, okay, they've got programs that might be the right fit for you, so that you've got this manageable number on your list. Going into your senior year, if you've got 3 to 5 schools on your list at the start of your senior year and you visited all of them, they have your major, you think you're probably going to be able to afford them, and the team and coach seem like a good fit, you're now in a really good position to be able to find a school that's a good match, and to maybe be able to choose between multiple schools that could be a good match so that you can find not only the best fit, but maybe the best price too.
Yeah. I mean, fall of your senior year is like really the time where you've got to be doing a good amount of legwork if you haven't already, because obviously that's when the team is in season. So hopefully you can utilize that as a way to go see that team play, see campus. I know
Yeah.
that's what I do with most of our top recruits as we head into the senior year is give them our schedule and set up a whole day kind of visit or maybe even a weekend visit where they come. They have an admissions chat. They get a campus tour. They see our team play in a game. They get to meet the guys. They do an overnight with our team. They get to eat in the cafeteria. They get to see the dorms. They obviously get to have conversations with me and our coaching staff. And I think at the end of the weekend or the day, you'll have a pretty good idea if you haven't done one of those kind of full day visits where you'll know if that team and that coach and that program is a good fit for you.
If you're a senior boy and you're playing high school soccer in the fall, if you're down to 3 to 5 schools before your high school season starts, setting up what Tim just talked about is totally possible. Like that's no problem. You can look at the schedules and go, oh, what fits for us? Work it out with your high school coaches and your high school schedule, and you might not miss anything soccer related if you know that in advance. If if you don't know that before your senior year starts, it becomes very hard to do those final visits with the school because you're just trying to get your list down to a manageable size. And with being in season, that ends up being stressful and harder. Um, as you get to the end of the fall of your senior year, like Thanksgiving or over the holidays between semesters, like that's like your sort of final timeline for negotiating your best deal. Except at the most prestigious colleges, some of them have early deadlines. So you might be done, by the time you get to that point where they've already made offers and maybe you've had to accept the offer even by that time. For most schools, they're going to begin sending their financial aid offers, around Thanksgiving time. It sort of varies year to year a little bit. And then most have deadlines around May 1st, so you're going to have some time to be able to make those decisions, except the coaches may want you to decide way sooner than that. So, they might be pushing you to decide even before you have your official financial aid offer. So getting estimates, in the fall can be important for you. Some of you might not be able to make that decision until you get the financial aid offers. Most coaches are going to understand that. But going, yeah, you're my number one choice. I want to be able to come to you, but I've got to know how much it's going to cost before I can figure that out. And to be honest, if you've got multiple schools that you really liked, it puts you in the driver's seat being able to negotiate with those admissions counselors or coaches, trying to get the best deal that you can.
Well, Matt, appreciate your time today. I think this is all really good stuff, especially in the summertime, right? Don't
Yeah.
be behind the eight ball when September and October come and you're playing 4 games a week with your high school team and you're trying to
Yep.
then find your do your college search as well. Be prepared for the fall because you're obviously going to be busy with school and soccer. So take the time now to prepare yourself.
Yep.
Thanks, parents and players for watching. And as always, reach out if you have any questions.